A choker is essentially, you know, choking it around the object that you want to lift. Maybe it's a big piece of iron, big steel beam, a big pipe, whatever the case may be. You want to use a choker. The choker is rated the least out of any of the ratings on a sling. And last but not least, we have the basket, which the basket is rated for 6,000 pounds, it says. Now, a basket is all right. Today, kind of wanted to make a video, give a little introduction to rigging with slings. Now, if you work in any trade, like the ironworkers trade, the lineman trade, probably on the pipeline, there's a various amount of trades where if you work in, you're gonna be using rigging, and rigging is a big part of that trade. You're gonna be lifting heavy objects with cranes, with trucks, with winches, whatever the case may be, you'll be using slings. In the lineman trade, we do use a lot of rope slings. So just a rope sling like I have here, which, you know, they work in a lot of good applications because they're very versatile. You can tie a lot of knots. Unless you know what these are rated, this rope is rated off the top of your head, which I don't, but I know it's rated for a lot. You can't really use it in like serious lifting applications because it's not rated. And most serious lifts, when it comes to rigging and lifting heavy objects, you want to use something that is rated. Now, when it comes to slings, you're going to have basically 3 different types of slings. You'll have the web sling like this, but you can have a twisted eye web sling. Like this is a twisted eye. Just the eye is twisted. You'll have a flat eye sling, which I don't have with me, but the eye isn't twisted. Like this flat eye, which will just be, the eye will just be flat all the way around. And now the twisted eye is rated for more than the flat eye. And then you'll have polyester, or I guess web, full loop sling, which I don't technically have one of those full loop polyester slings. It's basically gonna look like this, except it's gonna be a big polyester thing. I'll pop up a picture. They all have different ratings. When it comes to lifting things, heavy things, for the most part, you're gonna know what that object weighs. All slings that you're gonna be using should have a rating on it. When it comes to slings, before you use that sling, you need to inspect that sling. No, what you're looking for in a sling is any of the stitching. Is it in tore? Is it broken? Is there any burn marks? How does the sling look? You just give it a nice quick look over, look at the eyes. So looking at the eyes look good. Just expecting the sling all the way down. This sling looks pretty good. Is it very weathered? You know, what does it look like? This sling doesn't look like it has any damage along the line anywhere. You're looking for tears, looking for cuts, abrasions, and things like that. This sling looks pretty good, so I would use this sling. Now, also, when it comes to the sling, know how heavy of the object you're lifting. You can look at the ratings of slings. Now, of course, this here is a polyester we call a web sling. It's got 3 different ratings on it. We have the vertical rating, which is this. And the vertical rating of this sling is 5,000 pounds. A sling like this is rated in kilonewtons because this is a rock climber's or a climbing sling essentially. So it's rated in force pounds, which 1 kilonewton equals 224.81 force pounds. This isn't rated in pounds, but you can convert it to pounds if you want to. Since this is a rigging lifting sling, these are rated in pounds. So if this bar weighs 10,000 pounds, then, well, I can't use this sling. It's not rated for 10,000 pounds. This sling has 3 different ratings on it. You're gonna have a vertical rating, you're gonna have a choker rating, and you'll have a basket rating. The other thing you have to look for when you're inspecting on a sling is the rating tag itself. If this sling doesn't have a rating tag on it, or the rating tag is destroyed, it should be red tagged, or which basically is give to the safety man, or do not use this sling because it's not rated, doesn't have a rating tag on it, or the rating tag is tore off. Now, if the sling looks like it's in great condition, I mean, maybe you still use the sling, but technically you're not supposed to. That's up for you and the guys you work with to decide. But anyway, so it's gonna have the tag on it, and it's gonna have a manufacturer, it's gonna have warnings, it's gonna have probably where you bought it from, or you got it from. This sling, it all looks good. The only issue I see with it is the ratings on it, and the length, the width, the type, and the serial number are all written on with a marker, if you can see there. Now, can I read it? Sure. For the most part, usually slings, how you can see the lettering and the words that are on the tag itself are all printed on the tag. The serial number, the width, the length, the type, the vertical, choker, basket, what they're rated for is written down with a marker on the tag itself. I personally would trust it, even though they're probably technically not supposed to. I actually don't know, but was this written on by just some guy off the street, or was this written down from the manufacturer? That I do not know. But the good thing is, you know what kind of sling it is, who makes it. This Webmaster, it's a polyester. It says it's a 2-inch wide, 5 foot long. So you can type in Webmaster, polyester, 2-inch, 5 foot long. Type in the serial number. It says it has a serial number right here. So the other thing about a sling is sometimes they also have a ply. So is it a 1 ply, 2 ply, 3 ply, 4 ply? This, I don't see on here if it has a ply or not. I'm sure if you're just to Google the Webmaster with the serial number, it'll probably pop up and it'll tell you what this sling is rated for. After you've done your inspection, you look at it and it looks good to go to use, you use the sling. For vertical, like I was showing you, this is vertical here. So this is gonna be your hookup point on a crane or a hook somewhere on a winch. And then you're gonna hook this up either on somewhere on the object you need to lift. So maybe you use a shackle here, and then you're gonna have maybe 3 slings to use to lift this object, whatever the case may be. We know that this sling is rated for, it says here 3,000 pounds. I said 5,000, but it's rated for 3,000 pounds vertical. But now also you have to include sling angles, which I'll make another video about sling angles with rigging. The more angle you have on a sling, the less it's actually rated for. Completely vertical, this thing is rated for 3,000 pounds. This is completely vertical. Once you start putting angles into it, it decreases the rating. Well, I'll make another video about that. Now, as a choker, this is rated for 2,400 pounds. A choker is essentially choking it around the object that you want to lift. Maybe it's a big piece of iron, big steel beam, a big pipe, whatever the case may be. You want to use a choker. The choker is rated the least out of any of the ratings on a sling. And then last but not least, we have the basket, which the basket is rated for 6,000 pounds, it says. Now, a basket is just like this. You're gonna have your hook here, and then you're gonna use a basket. Or maybe you have 2 hooks. Probably not 2 hooks, but probably 1 hook. Anyways, this is your basket right here. Your basket is gonna be your strongest variation of this sling, the strongest rating. So typically the choke, or my bad, typically the basket is twice the rating of the vertical. Vertically, it's rated for 3,000 pounds. Basket's rated for 6,000 pounds. Those are your 3 ratings you have on a sling. That's the very basics of a sling. Basically tells you everything you need to know right here on the sling rating tag. You can get into more detail once it comes to lifting, rigging with sling angles. You're using shackles. What other rigging components are you using that's gonna either increase or decrease the strength? You can't, I guess, increase the strength of a sling. If this is rated for 3,000 pounds vertical, it's rated for 3,000 pounds vertical. So you could put a shackle that's rated for 5,000 pounds, but regardless, the weak point is going to be the least rated piece of material or tool you're using for rigging applications. In this case, would be a sling. If your other components are rated for more, and this is the least rated component, your sling is your weak link. That is the basics of a sling. Now, like I said, this is a twisted eye web sling. It says it's 5 foot 2 inches wide. A full loop polyester sling, and then you're gonna have a flat eye web 2-eye sling just like this, but the eye is gonna be flat and not twisted, which is gonna be your least rated sling. That's just the basic components of a rigging sling. I'll make further videos about sling angles and things like that. That's where some math can be involved or will be involved. That's where knowing some math is gonna help you when it comes to getting into a trades, or once you're in a trade. There's different calculations and equations you can use to find sling angles. And so that's a web sling, a rigging sling. Hopefully you can learn from the video what a twisted eye or twisted 2-eye web sling is rated for. Obviously you're gonna have different slings that have different ratings. They're thicker, they're longer. Are the twisted eye, flat eye, are they a round sling? They're all gonna have different ratings, and that's for you to decide what you need to use when it comes to rigging and for lifting heavy objects. So hopefully you can learn from this video, and stay tuned for more rigging videos and rigging applications, and thanks for watching.